Good actual morning. Just past 6 or 20 past 6, and I'm on my way to Aldermaston Mill. So we'll see if we can catch some barbel, chub, perch, anything really. I've got all the rods with me to be able to have a go for all kinds of species. Currently very wet, it's hammering down, but the weather report did say that this should ease by 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is when the place actually opens, so I am a bit early, but with this place, you used to have to get there early and queue on the gate. The cars used to go up and out onto the road. I don't think it's the same anymore. I've driven past it a few times and I've never really seen anyone fishing it for a while, which is, it's very odd because this place used to be a bit of a mecca, especially for day ticket. A day ticket, really good stretch of the River Kennet, which is not, there's not very many of those about. So we'll get there, we'll get the kit ready, and we'll see what we can catch. See you on the bank. Walking down to the river. It's not actually, you're not allowed to fish until 8, so it's about 7:30 at the moment. So I'm just going to have a little look at the river. I was a bit early, so I had to wait in the car for a little while until I would have been allowed down. But the grounds here are just stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Sadly, what I feared might have happened has happened. It is very, very flooded. Had a lot of rain over the last couple of days. Came down there for a look last week and it looked absolutely perfect, but we've had a good couple of days of rain since then, and the river is, I reckon, at least 2, maybe 3 foot higher than it was back then. God, it's bloody windy too, and slippery. Now this is where I was thinking of fishing, only because it's a bit more of a sort of a backwater. I mean, let's have a look. We're definitely up towards the bank here. This was underwater, out of the water last time I was here. I think I still may get away with this. It's slightly lesser paced here than what it is on the main river, so I think I'll still give this a go. Probably get away with trotting a float through this bit maybe. Although I'll have to swing it fairly far out because of all the where the bank was is now underwater. Yeah. Well, we are at the swim. Just barrowed the load down from the car. I don't normally use a barrow, if I'm honest, for this kind of fishing, but it saves the bag. And as I've got a few rods, I brought a rod bag this time with me, which again I don't normally do either. Yeah, not ideal conditions at all. It is flooded. It's up at least a couple of feet. There's some colour. But it's better than being at home being stupid, so I might as well get the rods out and see what happens. I haven't got the rods out yet, and I'm already getting a bit annoyed with this flipping wind. It is so windy, and there is quite a cloud coming over, and I've left my brolly back in the car, hoping that I wouldn't need it. So I think I'm going to get a little bit wet, but I'm just going to show you what I'm using for the fishing today. It's a fairly standard barbel setup. 2 barbel rods. To be honest, I brought the wrong rests for the rod rests, so they're not ideal. 7,000 size reel with 10-pound line with a 8-pound hook link on. 2 feeders. So yeah, that's the barbels. Now the float rod, gone old school, centre pin reel. Now I think I've made a small mistake of setting up a stick float rod with 10-foot rod, which may be a little short. I should have gone for 12 or even a 15-foot rod. I've also got in there my little spinning rod, a little jig rod, which is all set up, ready to go. But again, I don't think I'm going to be using that with how it's looking, but we'll see. I am just about to get soaked. I think it's looking a little bit dark over here, and it's already, just walking around a little bit, it's unbelievably muddy. It'll be an interesting day. This is the bait for the first one. Nice old donkey choking pellet. Stick in that. Bit of feeder. Some ground bait. And some nice pellets. Let's see what happens. Okay, first cast in. This one's going to go into the kind of middle, into the main flow. It's got a big heavy feeder on it, and I do have some dead cows to add if that's not enough. Get it in and let's bloody hope. That's pretty good. It seems to have held bottom quite well. It's not bouncing around, so it looks good. Okay, it's really getting on my tits now. Every time I put the camera on the tripod, the wind just picks up and buggers off across the swim, as did my hat. But I have got it back. It's just drying because it went straight into the water. It's going to be one of those days. I'm definitely at some point going to end up on my arse because I've slipped up. Well, near enough every time I'm walking, I'm slipping. It's ridiculous. But I've got one rod out, just about to finish the second rod and get that out. Let's hope it improves. Well, both of the rods are out. Got one over here, just past this tree. And then one over here, just on the edge of this sort of main current bit here. But the wind is going to make it hard to see any kind of bite, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. There's a branch up here that's literally being held on by a little law. I don't know if you can see it on here. Towards the top, there was a law. literally hovering just to the right hand of my rod. So if that goes, that's going to land straight on the line. So hopefully it stays there. Well, the wind is really picking up and it is bloody cold. I put my big jacket on to try and keep warm. Nothing at all has happened on the barbel rods yet. To be honest, as I've been lure fishing really solely for the past 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months. So sitting in one position behind 2 rods, just staring at them, I don't know, I'm getting itchy feet. So I think I'll give it maybe half an hour to an hour more, and then I'll probably pack them up. Maybe have a go with the float rod, a little bit sort of down the river where it's a little bit calmer, and see if we can catch roach or maybe chub on some bread. And if that doesn't work, then I will crack out the lure rods, go round to the main river, and there's like a dam wall which I've been told has done numerous perch, sort of over 3.5 pound. So I'll give that a go, and if that fails, well, that's a lock on. So hopefully something works and I can manage to get a fish on the bank. But yeah, it's not looking good. The river conditions are horrendous. The weather is awful for any kind of fishing, really. With these strong winds, it's hard to keep an eye on, watching the tips. As soon as a big strong wind comes, they go crazy. And controlling a stick float with a centre pin reel is going to be interesting as well. And even more so, lure fishing in this weather is never easy. But we're here. We'll give it a go. Right, I've given up on the barbel fishing for now. Well, barbel and chub fishing with ledgers anyway, for now. So I'm going to try and give trotting a little go. Just been baiting an area with a few handfuls of some bread, some crushed up bread. So hopefully we'll entice something along with a 10-foot rod and a centre pin reel. So yeah, not going to be easy. If I would have known it was going to be this windy, then I would have used a longer rod and a fixed bolt, but we are where we are. So let's give it a go. This is a little stretch in question. It's a bit on the but we'll give it a go, and pretty fast flowing compared to what it's normally like here, but let's see what happens. Paid the man. That was lucky. I was in the tree at that point. Didn't even see that. It's a little bit lower. For fuck's sake. That's better. There we go. Let's let that trot down nicely. Beautiful glide through. Your reel is spinning beautifully. just trotting all the way down to the end. And then we'll pull it back straight through all the shit. So we're probably going to catch every weed there is. But as the bread is round the hook, it kind of helps mask it. Oh, well, it was until the bread come off. But there we go. Yeah, this is not going to be easy at all here. So a nice bit of weed. Let's try again. Size 10 hook on. There must be something in this bit of river. There must be. There we go. Bit of bread. Let's try again. I'm actually going to cast it over there, I think, towards the bushes. Over there. Okay, so the float wasn't really working, so I'm going to give the lure a go. These things called magic worms here. They're an inspired angling product. And I'll get one out and show you what they look like. And now here's the worm. Very, very flexible and completely buoyant. So when you cast this out, it will stand up and you can bounce it along the bottom. Perch do really like these, so let's stick that on the little lure rod that I've got here. Just a tiny little jig and spin rod. And give that a go down by the down wall back up the main river. Well, it's been dire. I've just been out with the lure rod for about an hour or so around all the sort of dam parts. It's impossible to hold bottom with anything. I've tried my hardest on everything. Tried the stick float. Nothing. Not a sausage. So my fishing game is not good, but my lunch game spot on. Can't go fishing without a Cornish pasty. So I'm going to munch that. I'll put the rods back out, the barbel rods, which are swinging away in the wind, and we'll see what happens. But I can kind of predict what's going to happen, which is me loading the stuff onto the barrow, into the car, and going home. But not yet. We'll give it a bit longer. Well, just thought it's probably time I'll start to pack up. Started bringing the rods in. Got a bit of a bite on one of the rods. Wasn't quite what I was expecting. I'll just flip this round and show you. So, fishing with a cube of luncheon meat. We have Mr. Pickerel. Mr. Pike. Only a small one, but pretty welcome actually. Only just hooked. Luckily, it's hooked right to the front of his mouth, so it didn't bite through any of the line. So let's get him unhooked. Come out of the net. Beautiful. There we go. Ooh. Not a happy fish. There we go, I'll just hold him up like this. There he is. Only 3 or 4 pound maybe. Very welcome. Safe to blank. Well, I'll still continue to pack up, but I think I'm going to go grab the pike rod out of the car and have a little chuck about with the law. As if he's taking a bit of lunch at me, surely they've got to be pretty bloody hungry. So I'll fling a law around for a little while before I go and see if any more pike are interested, or could wobble a bit of luncheon meat, I suppose. Just look at this. Absolutely stunning place to fish. Now, I think the peg that you're supposed to stand on here is actually underwater there. I'm going to give it a go along this wall, see if there's any pike at home. Well, that's that. Didn't catch it, didn't get anything else on the lures. So I'm going to call that a day. Still, you can't get much better looking places to fish. Absolutely beautiful here, it really is. It's just a shame the fishing has deteriorated compared to what it used to be like. But for now, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching.